everyone, and welcome to Top Think. Today we're going to learn about 10 psychology tricks that will blow your mind. Now, let's begin. Number 1, fewer choices. Are you indecisive? Do you struggle to make difficult decisions? All right, let's say you're buying a new mattress for your bed. You go to a store and you lay on a dozen mattresses, but you just can't decide which one you want. You may feel overwhelmed by the wide variety of options at your disposal. Luckily, there's an easy trick you can use to make better, smarter, and faster decisions. Most people can't make up their minds because they give themselves too many choices. If you have a dozen different mattresses to choose from, your brain can't weigh the pros and cons of each option. You start to feel confused. You may doubt your judgment. You may wonder, what if I make the wrong choice? Or what if I'm missing out on a better option? As soon as you start down this road, you're going to make poor, impulsive decisions. According to a 2000 study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, there's a maximum number of options any one person can handle. So whether you're buying a mattress, a car, or a brand new house, limit your choices to 4 concrete options. With only 4 options on the table, you can confidently assess pros and cons, eliminate the wrong choices, and decide which option is right for you. Number 2, last impressions. Everyone wants to make a good first impression. We worry endlessly about introductions, handshakes, and body language. It's true the first few minutes are essential, but what about the last few minutes? Are last impressions as important as first impressions? Your brain pays the most attention to 2 things, the very beginning and the very end. A good first impression starts your conversation on the right foot, but a poor last impression may erase or undo all your hard work. So how do you make strong last impressions? Well, before you say goodbye, bring the conversation to a personal and meaningful conclusion. Say something like, "It's been a pleasure meeting you," or "I've had a great time talking with you tonight." Phrases like these remind the other person that you've enjoyed their company, which gives them a boost of confidence and puts a smile on their face. So if you're sincere and confident, a great last impression turns every conversation into a positive and memorable experience. Number 3, feeling needed. Imagine you need a favor from someone in your life. Maybe you need help with a project at work. Maybe you need someone to drive you to the airport over the weekend. In either case, how do you guarantee this person will come to your aid? What simple psychological trick will persuade others to make sacrifices for you? People are much more generous when they feel needed. If you want someone to do you a favor, start the conversation by boosting their ego. Use phrases like, "I need your help," or "I couldn't do it without you." Because these phrases raise their confidence and it swells their pride. When someone feels confident and proud, they're more likely to say yes now and in the future. In other words, a simple change in phrasing can be the difference between a yes and a no. If you need someone to do you a favor, make them feel needed and valuable. And if you can do that, people will jump at the opportunity to make your life easier. Number 4, teaching mastery. What's the best way to learn a new skill? Imagine someone's teaching you how to build a table. After learning how to build a table, you jump into the shop and you start building, but you realize halfway through that you don't know what you're doing. It turns out there's a better way to retain new information over time. Normally, after you learn something, you move on to real-life experience, but what if you added a third step in between? After you learn a new skill, before you put that skill into practice, you spend a few minutes teaching what you learned to someone new. This is a critical step in the learning process. Regurgitating new information challenges your brain to assemble more concrete concepts. Not only will you retain more information, but you'll also remember smaller details which may have otherwise slipped your mind. But that's not all. Teaching also presents a unique opportunity to create new connections and draw greater conclusions. By teaching another person, you gain a fuller understanding while giving you confidence and vital experience moving forward. Number 5, the mere exposure effect. Is there an easier way to connect with people? Making new friends isn't as difficult or complicated as most people think. In fact, one psychological trick can make you more likable in almost any context. To meet someone new, all you need to do is spend time in the same environment. Psychologists call this the mere exposure effect. You naturally gravitate toward people that feel familiar, even if you haven't spoken to those people before. In other words, if you want to befriend someone new, find ways to occupy the same space. Even if you hardly say two words to each other, familiarity creates comfort, and comfort paves the way for a stronger connection. Number 6. Memorable imagery. Your brain processes millions of pieces of information. From perceptual cues to intelligent language, your brain is continuously bombarded by sensory signals. Unsurprisingly, many signals, even those you want to remember, accidentally slip through the cracks. For example, think about what you did yesterday afternoon. You might remember a few things, but unless you did something extra special, you may struggle to remember what happened. When your brain is bored or disengaged, it doesn't bother storing detailed information. For example, if you're making a sandwich, your brain doesn't need to remember how many slices of turkey you used, so it goes on autopilot. In the moment, you can function just fine, but when the moment passes, those memories fade and disappear. So, how do you make specific information more memorable? If you want to remember something, especially something insignificant, then you need to excite your brain with interesting and novel stimuli. Otherwise, your brain will throw that information away. Just think about the cars passing you on the street. You don't remember dozens of white sedans and pickup trucks. But what happens when a bright orange supercar pulls up next to you? That experience becomes memorable. It grabs your attention and it excites your brain. You rarely see cars so colorful and expensive, so your brain stores this novel experience in your long-term memory. Just like that orange supercar, you can store more information, transforming boring stimuli into interesting experiences. To remember a piece of information, like a word or a phrase, think of an image that's weird, funny, or exciting. The best images have strong visual cues. That way, your brain can easily retrieve this information from your long-term storage. From grocery lists to phone numbers, you can remember anything with the right imagery. Give your brain something to latch onto, and those memories will almost always stick around. Number 7. High expectations. How do you motivate others to perform at their best? Performance often correlates with high or low expectations. If you expect someone to fail, there's a good chance they're going to. On the other hand, if you expect someone to succeed, they're more likely to perform at their best. So how do you increase other people's performance? Well, you tell them that you believe in them. Let them know that you expect great things and you have faith in their abilities. Once you raise your expectations, others will elevate their performance and rise to the occasion. Number 8. Specific routines. High expectations can motivate others, but how do you motivate yourself? What psychological trick can you use to increase your productivity? Whether you want to learn a new skill or create healthier habits, specificity is the key to a more productive routine. All right, let's say you want to read more books. Instead of saying, "I'll read 20 pages a day," choose a specific block of time reserved for reading. You might say, "I'm going to read every day from 9 to 9:45. If you're specific, it's much more difficult to procrastinate your goals or habits. You can put off reading 20 pages, but when 9 o'clock comes around, it's time to start reading, whether you like it or not. Number 9. Strategic negotiation. Do you want to become a stronger negotiator? All right, let's say you want to borrow $20 from your friend. You could ask them for the $20, but there's a good chance they'll say no. So what psychological trick can you use to get what you want? Instead of asking for $20 directly, you can use a decoy to hide your intentions. For example, try asking for more money than you need. Ask your friend for $50, and when they turn you down, lower your offer to $20. Most of the time, your friend will say yes, thinking they got the better end of the deal. But the truth is, they fell for your decoy, and they played right into your hands. Number 10. Reading minds. Have you ever wished you could read someone's mind? Now, you may not have psychic powers, but there is one psychological trick that gives you a window into other people's thoughts. The best part is, you can use this psychological trick without doing anything differently. Most humans experience a unique emotion called empathy, which allows you to walk in another person's shoes. Now, you may not realize it, but empathy gives you a surprisingly accurate understanding of someone's thoughts and experiences. It's not quite the same as mind reading, but you'd be surprised how much you can learn by empathizing with another person's problems. So if you ever need to know what someone's thinking, just put yourself in their shoes. Think about what you might be feeling in their situation, because the emotions you experience aren't so different from their own. Hey, thank you for watching Top Think, and be sure to subscribe because more incredible content is on the way.